It's called blockchain. You wouldn't get it.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So it's Friday, it's the weekend, we did it. How are you doing today? Hope you're having an awesome start to your weekend. So, having a look at what's going on, it's a little bit of a mix right now. It's another boring day in the markets. I wish I could tell you something exciting is happening, although I think something exciting, depending on what your definition of exciting is going to happen very shortly, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But having a look at the markets today, we see that Bitcoin dominance has gone up, and it's been steadily increasing just a little bit day by day, which is telling me that people are selling their altcoins and buying Bitcoin. Now, not a lot, but I've noticed it's creeping up day after day. So today we have a $3,595 Bitcoin, XRP at 31.5 cents, Ethereum $117. If we have a look at the biggest gainers of the day, we have Holochain still up today. They had an impressive run up this week alone. Electroneum up, Theta, Ontology, Elastos, Linky, Nexo, Ravine, and Dogecoin all up today in the markets now. Having a look at these charts, guys, looking at the Bitcoin chart, as you can see right here, volume is very, very, very low. It's actually gone up a little since this morning, which is kind of a good thing, because the one thing that's kind of making me nervous is just flatlining like this. Like, you see how we're just flatlining? We're not really doing much. Well, it seems like every time we have one of these consolidation periods, we have a massive, massive move, as you can see right here. This was a crazy move, but the difference is this actually had volume. Now, going back over here, if we look at some of these massive drops we had right here, look at some of this low volume right around here. Okay? And that's right before this massive drop. Or what about this one right here? That was some of the lowest that we had. So that's something just to keep in mind. I'm not saying we're going to just, crash. I'm just saying keep your mind on it. But the one thing I want to point out is how close we are to overtaking the longest Bitcoin bear market in history. So currently, the longest ever crypto bear market was seen between November of 2013 and January of 2015, where Bitcoin climbed to highs of over 1,100, only to crash all the way down to 178, representing an 85% drop. But if we look at this, it was approximately 410 days before Bitcoin finally established a long-term bottom and began to recover much of its losses. Now, I've heard some people say 415, 420. It depends on what you're really basing it on, but let's just say 410 days. So the current bear market is just a matter of days away from becoming the longest in history. As you can see right here, Josh Rager wrote, on February 2nd, we are likely to break the record for the longest Bitcoin correction. Very soon, you will be able to say that you have survived the longest crypto market correction in Bitcoin history. May not be great portfolio-wise, but hey, it's bragging rights, right? So, looking down here, you can also see Galaxy was talking about the future lies in the study of the past. Once again, we are approaching the 420-day mark, which ended the 2015 bear market, and if history repeats itself, we're moving towards several months of accumulation and a new bull cycle starting mid to late 2019. So, if this theory turns out to be even remotely accurate, Bitcoin could see a long bout of sideways movements before potentially skyrocketing back towards or possibly even higher than the previously established all-time highs. However, what does this say to me? Well, we could be in for a pretty boring couple months of accumulation, right? But the thing is, you're still seeing guys moving forward. You have Bakkt coming out, and they basically launched this, or they put out this information. You guys could check this out according to market specifications, Bakkt, daily futures. They talk about the contracts. There'll be 1 Bitcoin in size. If you're interested in learning more about this, definitely check this out. But the one thing that's sort of catching me a little bit off guard right now is the fact that price keeps going down. It just seems like this is just a ridiculous amount of things happening at once, right? Now, I highly, highly doubt that the government shutdown really has anything, to do with crypto, but it's definitely not helping. Now, the one thing that was really interesting was this interview on CNBC with Van Eck's associate, Jan Van Eck. Now, this was pointed out to me by a guy on YouTube called Mr. Christoph. He's actually a Bitcoin miner, okay? And he was saying that he almost felt a sense of he didn't want to jump into it. He didn't want to say he was excited, but he almost felt like by Van Eck saying that multiple people are looking into gold right now, they almost think it's a distraction. I'm going to play the clip for you right now, and you guys can let me know what you think about this. So let me just play this.
Go ahead. Well, I just wanted to add one comment. I do think that Bitcoin pulled a little bit of demand away from gold last year in 2017. Interestingly, we just pulled 4,000 Bitcoin investors, and their number one investment for 2019 is actually gold. So, gold lost to Bitcoin, and now, it's going the other way.
But I want to clarify about why you pulled the application. You're not.
And you see how the guy's like, well, yeah, okay, but you're getting off topic here. We're talking about why you pulled the application for the ETF. So why did he feel the need to throw that in there? I mean, I know that they also deal with gold. I get it. You want to promote your products. But it just seems really strange to me. You polled 4,000 Bitcoin investors, and they all say that they're going to invest in gold. Now, either you're trying to pump gold or you're trying to scare people into selling Bitcoin, or both. But I don't know. To me, it just seems kind of weird, kind of interesting how you're having things like this come out saying, oh, yeah, well, we're just finding there's more interest in gold, so they're not really interested in Bitcoin. Then you're having JP Morgan analysts come out saying Bitcoin's price is going to drop to 1,260. It just seems like a lot of awkwardly coordinated FUD. I could just be overanalyzing everything. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe they're not connected at all. But let me know what you think, because it just seems strange how all this is coming out at the same time, guys. So that's something that I just wanted to point out. Now, let's talk about some positive news. We could talk about this all day. So yesterday in the comments, people were like, I don't think that you're making big enough a deal about this phone. So let's talk about it again. Let's talk about the Samsung Galaxy S10 smartphone. Now, the thing is so far, these are just pictures that have been circulating. While I'm super, super excited for this, I mean, they've had their blockchain patents that they've gone for and everything else. I think I'll feel a lot better when it's like 100% totally confirmed, But yes, okay, as Joseph Young said on Twitter, he said, humble opinion, if Samsung integrates crypto to the Galaxy S10, he says, I think it may have a bigger impact than the ETF and Bakkt combined, partially because no one really knows what kind of exposure ETFs or Bakkts will bring. Meanwhile, we already know millions of people are using smartphones, okay? So Joseph Young is arguing that having a cryptocurrency wallet, integrated into a phone that everyone's just gonna buy anyway, could potentially have a bigger effect than even something like an ETF or like Bakkt. So that was pretty much the news. Apparently yesterday, according to you guys, I wasn't giving it enough credit, so I just want to give it even more credit, okay? So in December 2018, Samsung first applied for these 3 blockchain-related European trademarks for smartphones. So we'll have to see. We're looking to see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it, okay? I'm very excited, by the way, guys. I just don't want to get too excited until, we have 100% confirmation on the phone. That's all. I mean, 99% probably, but you just got to be sure. That's all. So, moving on, talking about Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple. What has he come out and said? Well, let's dive in and see. Got a lot of Ripple stuff today, by the way, guys, and a lot of craziness going on. So, he goes on, and this was also over at the, what was it called? I forget. The World Economic Forum. This is where all those guys came out with those crazy predictions. And he says, I think many people in the world, not just regulators, they hear the word crypto and their brain goes immediately to Silk Road and illicit illegal activities, and you have to kind of bring them up to speed on real use cases and real utility that's actually good for government, good for banks, that can be leveraged. He actually goes on to say, if you take Bitcoin as it exists today as a static thing, the scalability problems and proof of work as a model have some real significant limitations. There's lots of people trying to improve that. Maybe they'll succeed, maybe they won't. I'm not prepared to say Bitcoin goes to zero. I still own Bitcoin because, as Glenn describes, it may become just a store of value. However, at Ripple, we build upon a technology called XRP because it's extremely scalable as compared to Bitcoin. It's extremely low cost and extremely fast relative to how Bitcoin works. So even the CEO of Ripple is not selling his Bitcoin. He's saying, hey man, okay, maybe it's not the, P2P electronic cash system we thought it was going to be currently, but I'm not selling because right now, it's still number one and it still could potentially become gold 2.0, right? So now getting on to XRP, there is some crazy news going on with this. So currently they are responding to a new report that claims that the market cap of XRP is likely inflated by billions of coins on third-party crypto data services like CoinMarketCap, for example. Now, CoinMarketCap, if we go back here, and we go over to XRP, they do already take into consideration the total supply compared to the circulating supply, okay? So I just wanted to point that out real quick. But if we have a look at what, I just lost my place. If we have a look at what they're saying, according to the crypto data startup Messari, Ripple has not disclosed all of its sales and distributions of XRP to third parties. Messari says 19.2 billion of the 41 billion XRP currently listed as in circulation on CoinMarketCap may be illiquid or subject to significant selling restrictions, okay? And you can see this is the report that came out over here, and they go on to say, you know, if history is a guide, Ripple is due to disclose its Q4 2018 transparency report this week, which by the way, they did right here. I'll actually drop that below if you guys want to look at it for yourself. But anyway, they go, in advance of that report, we conducted extensive research into the health and legitimacy of the currently quoted XRP market cap available on third-party crypto data services and exchanges. We believe the figure is significantly overstated, potentially by as much as 6.1 billion. Now, some people were even referencing, remember the article that I talked about yesterday where we were discussing daily active addresses? Well, you could see the 7-day average for addresses on Ethereum is 216,000, whereas on XRP, it's just a mere 5,000. So we kind of said this is probably because of all the ERC20 tokens that are being used on the Ethereum network, whereas XRP is only being used just strictly for payment. That was what we came to the conclusion yesterday. However, they say that XRP's liquid circulating supply and market cap could be overstated by 48%, which would put the total market cap at 6.9 billion versus 13 billion, widely reported as the current USD XRP exchange rate. We recommend major indices including Bloomberg Galaxy, MVIS, Crypto Compare, Bitwise, and others, as well as passive funds such as Grayscale's Digital Large Cap and Bitwise's 10 Large Cap crypto. Consider revising their circulating supply assumptions for XRP downward to more appropriately reflect its true network liquidity and cease to rely on Ripple's XRP API for accurate circulating supply figures. A more precise estimate of XRP's supply will likely require disclosures from Ripple given the contractual restrictions the company has placed on a large percentage of XRP resales. They also go into the mythology of how they figured it all out right here, okay? So they go on to say that in reality, this estimate may prove to be conservative as they believe XRP trading volumes, which have consistently fallen well below that of EOS and Litecoin, two cryptos whose current reference market caps are a mere 17% and 15% of XRPs respectively. So in addition, they say we believe the actual amount of restricted XRP in distributions to investors, banking partners, and team members may be significantly higher than our initial estimates reflect. So if we head over here and we have a look at it, they're saying that this should be roughly half of what, or around half of what the market cap is right now, which would actually put, it'd make XRP half the market cap of Ethereum, according to them. Now, Ripple has responded to this so far, and they said not only does this report contain several inaccurate assumptions around lockups and selling restrictions, the entire report is based on an incorrect calculation of market cap. While decentralized digital assets like XRP are different from traditional equities, the term market cap is always a very simple calculation. Current price times total number of assets equals market capitalization. That puts XRP's current market cap, now they're saying at approximately 31 billion. We believe that any other calculation of market capitalization for XRP is not a clear representation of truth. However, 31 billion would actually represent if we took the total supply, which would be this 99 billion, and multiplied it by 31 cents. Okay, so that would be in that situation, which, you know, we know that CoinMarketCap goes off of circulating supply. So that's already how they're, you know, doing it as is. Now, this article had came out also on Coindesk, right? There was one part down here I wanted to highlight. They also said that Ripple has not shared the excuse me guys, methodology or reference exchange data it uses to calculate trading volume for XRP, a critical data point that drives selling restrictions. More than 99% of XRP trading volume appears to come from overseas exchanges, many of which have been suspected of wash trading. That's what the report says. So yeah, obviously Ripple released their reports noting the average daily XRP volume was around 585 million. The firm sold 88 million and an increase compared to its third quarter of around 65 million and 40 million in institutional direct sales. So this is the article that was out on Coindesk. Now, some people are basically saying that this is all just the idea of this guy, Ryan Selkis, because he has, I mean, I think he's pretty hardcore into Bitcoin. I mean, he's made it very, very obvious. So, you know, if you checked his LinkedIn profile, you see he is the founder of Messari, but he's also the managing director at Coindesk. So some people are saying, is this just some like elaborate thing to try to, you know, poke at, you know, XRP and stuff like that? Now, going over to Twitter, if you just search Ryan Selkis, you could see some of the recent tweets. The reason I searched it is because he's got a lot of retweets, so going through his feed right now is kind of crazy. But you could see right here, he talks about how I'd be careful calling me a liar in social media again. Then he said that somebody called his house and said that they knew his wife's birthday, and then they hung up on him. They gave the wife's birthday to him. So you have Joseph Young coming out saying, very disappointed to see Ryan Selkis and the great team attacked with personal threats because of a research paper. It goes on to say, yeah, there was so much more in here. I've received threat messages after Mt. Gox and Ripple exposes. He's cursing a lot. I want Brad Garlinghouse to denounce any XRP community threats against my family. So it looks like things are getting a little out of control right now, but this is the situation that's going on. You know, he says that they're not being transparent. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, if the funds are locked up, personally, this is just my take on it, without even doing any research on the numbers, just blindly just telling you how I feel. Not even looking at the numbers. If they are locked up, if, you know, like if somebody can't sell them or they can't move and they're not publicly out, they're not able to be traded, right? Then those should not be included in the circulating supply, in my opinion, because we can't actually access those. We can't trade those. They're locked up, right? But that's just my thing. I mean, it's just pretty simple. If they're not circulating, they're not circulating. If they are, they are. You know, so, but don't forget, Ripple was pre-mined. So technically, in their case, they're saying, well, all the coins do exist. So you should be multiplying it by the total amount. A lot of discrepancies. This isn't the first time this has been brought up. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Personally, they're really just going back and forth over this stuff, but it does affect people's perception, especially, you know, if they're saying that it should be the full amount. Well, if you were saying that Ripple would be that, you know, if you were going to take 99 and multiply it and double the market cap, well, 31 billion, not double it, 31 billion would be half of Bitcoin. So just want to point that out, guys. So anyway, staying on the same topic of Ripple, because I actually had some Ripple news to talk about today. A Japanese corporation, SBI Holdings, has actually reached an agreement with two other Russian and Japanese banks, the Russian Direct Investment Fund and the Russian Japanese Investment Fund, to invest in SBS Bank, a subsidiary of SBI. The agreement will further widen Ripple's coverages in Asia and was signed during a meeting between the Russian president and the Japanese prime minister. The CEO said SBI believes so much in Ripple's product, XRP. Not only does it have a clear use case, but XRP is also faster, cheaper, and more scalable than any other digital asset. He said, I strongly believe it will become the global standard in digital currencies. By the way, guys, I don't want you to think I'm bashing like Ripple or I'm bashing these guys with the report. I'm literally trying to take this all very open right now. You know, it is confusing what you're, I mean, Bitcoin, it's easy, right? Because if it's mined, then it's available. It's circulating. If it's not mined, well, then it's part of the total, but it's not circulating. Ripple, XRP, has been pre-mined. So that's where the difficulty lies in, okay? Now let's talk about some other things. We just talked about Ripple for like 10 minutes. Talking about this guy. So he says, I tried running an ad campaign for Brave on Google Ads and was rejected for malicious or unwanted software. So here it is right here. It said AdWords Express account number. Hello, your ad isn't running at the moment because it's disapproved for violating Google's advertising policies. AKA, you mean posting an ad to the competition? So if Google is currently seeing Brave browser as a potential threat, or they're seeing it as malicious or unwanted software, this could be bullish signs for basic attention token in Brave, guys. Just saying. Just saying, not financial advice. Also, let's talk about Nasdaq. So they are leading a 20 million series round funding in capital market blockchain technology company Symbiont. They could arguably be Nasdaq's biggest crypto play to date. So this comes just after we had that good news from Nasdaq's CEO, Adena Friedman, who gave further clues to Nasdaq's commitment to cryptocurrency and blockchain adoption this week. It could also mean Nasdaq will create a platform to issue and trade tokenized securities. Possibly, maybe, we don't know. But Symbiont describes Nasdaq as an anchor partner, which will benefit from delivering applications on its Assembly Enterprise blockchain and smart contract platform. Nasdaq will be using the platform to explore new business opportunities with clients looking for smart contracts and tokenization solutions. Symbiont co-founder and CEO Mark Smith comments hint at future plans. He says the investment is a huge opportunity to be able to go all over the globe with Nasdaq and to provide ways to buy and transact new types of instruments with their smart contract technology. So also, just noting, back in December, Nasdaq Ventures joined Fidelity in a $27.5 million round of funding for cryptocurrency exchange ErisX. The funding split was not revealed, and though Nasdaq headlined their investment, it does not appear to be the lead funder. The Symbiont partnership could possibly be Nasdaq's biggest financial commitment to the nascent cryptocurrency and blockchain sector as of yet. Also, just plowing on through the news, guys, we have ConsenSYS announced a collaboration with Harvard University and apparel company Levi Strauss & Company, which is pretty cool. The three will work together on projects that will improve the welfare of workers working in factories. The partnership is aimed to engage factory workers by providing blockchain-based solutions aimed at protecting employees by preventing and reducing exposure to safety and health hazards. Also, this is coming out of news from Coinbase, so they've now added a resource for customers in the United States to help claim your crypto taxes. Aren't you guys so excited? Claim your taxes. Government shut down, but you still got to pay your taxes. In addition to adding an educational guide on crypto and taxes, Coinbase has also integrated with popular tax software TurboTax. According to the blog post, users of Coinbase.com and Coinbase Pro will be able to automatically import transactions into a new crypto-specific section of TurboTax Premier. So the legal definition of cryptocurrency in the US, and by extension, by the way, which holders are obligated to claim their taxes, remains unclear, as a slew of regulatory agencies each view cryptos very differently. The SEC considers most to be securities, while the CFTC considers most to be commodities. But I'm sure eventually we'll have an answer sometime before I'm old and gray. We also have Overstock.com's much anticipated security token trading platform tZERO officially began trading, so accredited investors can sign up to trade tZERO tokens through Dinosaur Financial Corp. LLC, which is acting as the introducing or customer-facing broker-dealer. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and get on that. Also, let's talk about New York being complicated, but this is good for these guys. Robinhood, the California-based broker, now has the green light from regulators in the state of New York, yay, to open up shop. The company announced that New York Department of Finance Services granted Robinhood the so-called BIT license, which is only held by a handful of crypto companies, including Genesis Trading and payments firm Square. The agency also granted LibertyX a license. As for Robinhood, its future New York clients would be able to invest in 7 different cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. Robinhood crypto is currently available in over 30 states, and it will roll out in New York in the up and coming months. And that's really it for crypto news today, guys, but I actually thought this was pretty interesting, only because we had some crypto guys talking about it. So, U.S. presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren has recently proposed a brand new Eat the Rich tax for the top 0.1% wealthiest individuals. Under her plan, there would be a 2% levy on assets for those who own more than $50 million. The exclusive billionaire club has to brace itself for even higher taxes. Charles Hoskinson actually responded from, Cardano and said, "It's really sad to see this becoming normalized and acceptable policy. It's just good old-fashioned theft where I come from. How do you even determine net wealth? Should I have to forcibly divest my assets at a loss to pay your tax?" So, in the comments section below, he went on to talk about high net worth individuals being, having to pay. So for instance, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has a huge net worth of $57 billion. If he were to pay a 3% tax, that would mean he would have to shell out $1.7 billion in the first year. Gradually, the mammoth-sized fortune would dwindle to zero over the course of several decades if his assets did not produce any investment gains, unless there's a tax threshold. So according to Hoskinson, wealth tax is morally wrong, and those who want to nationalize billionaires should consider packing their bags to communist China. You also had Mike Novogratz, who himself donated largely to the Democratic Party, didn't like the plan either, saying, while I actually am for a wealth tax, it's wholly unproductive to accuse a whole class of people of crimes with no evidence. You're smarter than that, Elizabeth Warren. Globalization and technology, both secular trends, have done more to create this disparity than any rigging. So on that note, I will leave you guys, and if that didn't make you kind of smile, check out these guys over in Toronto. Have you ever ordered sushi with cryptocurrency? No, I have not, but I sure would like to. And on that note, guys, I am out of here because it is Friday. We're gearing up for the weekend and we need to get on out of here. So with that, I hope you guys have a great weekend so far. Also, I just want to say shout out to everyone that's been clearly liking, subscribing, and commenting, and also everyone that's recently been using the Ledger affiliate links below. I really appreciate it, guys. You definitely want to keep your crypto safe. So if you guys haven't had a chance to pick up your Ledger Nano S or pre-order your Ledger Nano X, you can do that by using the link below. I appreciate it, guys. You help the channel out and doesn't actually cost you anything extra, but you don't have to do that because just showing up is enough for me. I love you guys. You're the reason that I do this every single day. Seriously, shout out to you. You're the all-star of the day. That being said, I'm out of here, guys. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.